And away from Nigeria so far, and according to the Johns Hopkins Coronavirus Resource Center, China has vaccinated the most with over 1 billion doses of vaccines, followed by India in second place, over 361 million vaccine doses on the nationwide vaccination drive. Now, the government of India says it is committed to accelerating the pace and expanding the scope of COVID-19 vaccination throughout the country, and advance visibility of vaccine availability to states for enabling better planning and streamlining the vaccine supply chain. Now, from India's Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and this is its COVID-19 update of today, India reported 43,733 new cases in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload also declined to over 450,000. Active cases continue to constitute about 1.5% of total cases, and over 29 million have recovered so far. We understand that 47,240 patients also recovered during the last 24 hours. Now, a look at India's COVID-19 trajectory shows lots of good news, and that is the daily recoveries continue to outnumber the daily new cases for the 55th consecutive day. Recovery rate increased to 97.18%. The weekly positivity rate remains below 5%, currently at 2.39%. The daily positivity rate at 2.29%, less than 3% for 16 consecutive days. And testing capacity substantially ramped up, 43.33 tests that have been done so far in the country. Well, to take a closer look at the situation in India is a journalist joining us from the country, Nabila Jamal. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Right. Hi. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Nabila. Now, with India among the top countries in the vaccination rollout, is that driving down the infection numbers considerably?
Yes, absolutely. India still, even now as we speak, we're looking at vaccination drives picking pace. It's not as much as what the government hoped to have. In fact, the government was hoping to be vaccinating at least half the population by this time, but that target hasn't yet been achieved. But we're looking at the rate of vaccination increasing by the day. In fact, just the last week, about 90 lakh odd people, in fact, close to 9 million people got vaccinated in a single day. So we are looking at the vaccination rate picking up, and many of the states that have vaccinated their population by and large, at least even 20% of the vaccination drive that's taken place in various states have reported much lower COVID cases in compared to areas that have not been vaccinated. So at least I could say that at least 95% of those who have been vaccinated in India, or rather those who got COVID-19, those people have not been vaccinated. So we're looking at the vaccine really working, and increasing numbers of vaccinations and of people who are getting vaccinated are being safe, and that's sort of rubbing off population at large to get the vaccine in time. But if you ask me, are we satisfied with the pace of the vaccine, currently the vaccination drive? I'd say not as much as what was planned, but we're surely getting there.
But in terms of human behavior, which was one of the things that drove up the numbers in the first place, would you say that now people are taking precautions?
Well, I beg to differ on that. I don't think, I think it's just out of habit or just sheer frustration. The moment the lockdown was lifted in several cities, people got back to business like there was no pandemic. In fact, certain hill stations like Shimla, Manali, these are holiday destinations in India, north of India. We saw lakhs of people going out for a weekend just to enjoy their freedom after months of being locked down at home. And that place was crowded. It was an ocean of people right there, literally crowding, hovering around the market areas. which triggered fears of a third wave. And of course, experts have been warning us of a third wave, even though they've said that it won't be as dangerous or as deadly as the second wave, because we are hoping to have more people vaccinated by then. But yet we can't take this lying low. I feel people aren't showing enough responsibility as they should. Some areas are, some aren't. So, and we're talking about 1.4 billion population, and it's really hard to crack down, for the authorities to crack down on each one of them. It becomes a collective responsibility. But we see a lot of them still lacking it. You have festivals happening in the south of India, like Tamil Nadu. There's a fishing festival that's currently taking place, where thousands of people are currently gathering by the river banks to be part of this annual fishing festival. It was cancelled off the last year. This year, they were allowed to do it, but there were COVID protocols in place. They weren't following it. So what can you do? I mean, at the end of it, we're looking at people showing irresponsible behavior, and that's really triggered fears of a third wave.
So a lot of work for the government. But then finally, we understand that the time frame between the 2 doses for the Covishield AstraZeneca was increased from 6 to 8 weeks to 12 to 16 weeks. What changed?
Well, there was initially reports that suggested by the COVID Management Committee that said that increasing the time period between the 2 jabs only increased the efficacy rate of the AstraZeneca Covishield. But of course, there were contrary reports also that said that even if you took it 6 weeks apart, it would still have the same effects. But well, there were also speculation that because of a shortage of vaccines, that they could have possibly stretched the period between the 2 doses. But nonetheless, right now, it seems like the period between the 2 doses have been stretched only because of reports that have come in from the Serum Institute of India, from the manufacturer of the vaccine itself, along with the expert committee, who have said that you can wait up to 14 weeks for getting the second jab of the vaccine, because the efficacy rate is better or the same. But nonetheless, we're not being stopped to take it any earlier. It's just that you can wait up to that period.
All right, many thanks,
But yes,
Nabila.
there is a vaccine shortage, and it seems like the government is doing everything to ramp it up.
All right, we appreciate that update. Thank you so much, Nabila, from New Delhi there in India.
Thank you very much.